Welcome to a visit with Nana and Papa. I'm Nana.
Obviously, that makes me Papa.
We're coming to you from Killeen, Texas, where it is getting pretty hot. We're going to under heat advisory today, so we are.
But before the heat advisory, we were under severe thunderstorm watch, and we got a whole bunch of hail dumped on us, and the hail responded to the heat advisory by going, "What the fucking lift?"
Yeah, pretty much.
and melted almost instantaneously.
Yeah. But it's okay. I'll take the rain. Okay.
I would actually take some more hail because at least when the ice melts, it drops the temperature by a degree or so. When you're up in the 90s, 1 degree doesn't mean a lot,
Oh,
but
it does.
I'll
For
take
me,
it.
I'll take it. But anyway, so it is finally not officially summer, but it is feeling like summer here in Central Texas. We have been very lucky. I do not want to sound like I'm complaining because this time last year was absolutely, utterly miserable.
Yeah, it
we
was
had
already
been in
in the hundreds.
almost 2 full months of hundreds by this time.
I think it was just mostly high 90s. It hadn't
No.
always been in the hundreds.
James, I looked at it. There were 3 days from April 1st to September 30th. There were 3 days where the high was under 100.
Huh. I must have missed those 3.
I'm not saying it, one of them might have been 99 or 98, but there were 3 days. So we've gone almost 2 full months keeping it in the 80s or lower. And we've had quite a few days that were in the 60s and the 70s, even in April. I think even in May there were a couple of days that were in the 60s
Yeah.
for a high, and I take that for a win every time.
And we had been opening the windows at night to let some cool air in, and we can't do that anymore because the nights have given up on the cool air, and there's no point in opening the window. We have the air conditioning set at 78. If the outside temperature does not get below 78, there's no reason to open the windows and refrigerate the outside.
Yeah.
And I would never call 78 refrigeration.
Anyway, so we're okay. We're a little warm today, but we're grateful for what cool we have had.
Weather.
I need before we go further. I keep forgetting to say I am running a year-long make-along, and it is. I think it's a T. I will put the information down below for the mail. I'll put the hashtag across here. It is hosted on Ravelry and on Instagram. What I've been doing is if you post in either or, I put it all on the same wheel that spins and pulls a random person. So you can post either place. Besides the make-along, we don't have any admin-y stuff that I can think of. We're not doing any other giveaways or anything like that.
No.
The End AIDS Pride Knit-Along starts June 1st. There are 2 separate patterns that you can choose from. There's a shawl, there are socks, and there's a crochet. So there's 3 different things that you can do. I'm going to try to do the socks. I probably will fail, but I'm going to try because it's a mystery, meaning that it only gives you instructions for 4 rows at a time. So each day you get an instruction for 4 rows, so we'll see if I can knit 4 rows of a sock in a day. Maybe I can. It's only for 1 sock, but by the end of a week you're supposed to have a sock, so
Maybe.
we'll
see how your hands hold up a bit.
Yeah, that's the other part. I haven't been knitting much at all. Very, 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 very little knitting. I did the most knitting I've done in the last 2-3 weeks this morning. And it didn't hurt.
Good.
So
I still think you need to pace yourself.
I am. I'm not going crazy. I just...
You can't go crazy once you've already gone crazy.
Well, that's true.
You're
Anyway,
just there.
so we're going to go into a little bit of making We're also going to talk about what we've been reading and watching, and then we'll get a little bit more into life and what's going on with us.
So we have a schedule?
Yeah, so they can they can leave whenever they want.
Okay.
Okay? So,
So first we're doing yarny shit.
yeah, we're going to do, what are we wearing? You're wearing your wool t-shirts.
Yep. Currently $35 on Amazon. If you don't hate Amazon, I'm telling you, 100% merino wool for $35. Plus you get a pair of 100% merino wool socks.
And I'm wearing a t-shirt I knit, but I started the pattern, and I think I managed to knit like 5 or 6 rows of the pattern and then gave up on the pattern. And then just did my own thing, so
Really?
calling this a specific pattern isn't fair.
Anything you make, baby, calling it a specific pattern. It's like
No.
movies
No,
movies
because-
based on books.
The shawls that I made, the ones that I made from the test knit, the one I'm currently making with the hand spun yarn, those are exactly to pattern from a pattern by Beatrice Rubio.
Oh,
And the pattern is out now, and it's free.
wow. Okay. When Hollywood takes a really good book and decides to make a movie, they usually make a half-assed garbage movie because they don't follow the book. They loosely interpret the book. When Valerie finds a pattern that she likes for a sweater, she starts off with the pattern, and then it stops being the pattern and it becomes Valerie's version. So Valerie is actually a Hollywood producer of patterns, and she takes somebody else's pattern and says, wow, that's cute, but I can make it better.
Okay, let me back. I understand what you're saying, but I think that's how it should be. Because just like when you're baking, the first time you make homemade bread, you need to follow a recipe so that you know how to make homemade bread, so that you understand the temperature needs and you understand what happens. The second time, you may follow it for the most part, but you might tweak it a little. By the time you're making your 10th loaf of bread, you're playing around with it. You're adding this, you're taking that away, and
Yeah.
you're making it your own.
And see, now I can't really point a finger at her because I don't follow a recipe for shit. But I write recipes and then I get bent out of shape if people don't follow the recipe.
But they're not supposed to. Recipes are recipes for cooking. No, recipes for cooking. You make it the first time so that you know how it's made. And then you may find, you know what? I really didn't want that much garlic in that marinara sauce. So you cut back on the garlic. Or if you're like me, that was not enough garlic in that sauce. And the next time I make it, I'm going to add some garlic.
See, my best 2 recipes are Jim's Wicked Wheat and No Really It's Rye, because the first time she had it, she's like, this is delicious. I said, you hate rye bread. She says, I do, but I don't hate this. I said, well, that's rye bread. She says, no, really? I said, yes, it's rye. So its name became No Really It's Rye. And it is very, very good
It's a
rye.
Good bread. But anyway, so when you're knitting or crocheting, the first time you make that item, you should follow the pattern so that you understand the construction, so that you understand how it works, and then you may find that after making a few sweaters for your body, you may find that, you know what, I have really narrow shoulders, but I have a bigger bust than the narrow person with the narrow shoulders. So I need to start the pattern as if I'm making a medium, but I need to increase it so that it comes out to be a bigger size. Or, you know what, I'm short, and so having my increases come all the way down to here on my arm isn't good for me. So I want to do my increases faster so that that increase comes wide enough, quick enough, so that my armhole doesn't start halfway down my arm. But you learn that by making it. It's not something that happens
I love you.
automatically.
Oh, check out her new glasses.
Yeah, I got new glasses. Let's see. They're got a really bad reflection. I'm sorry about that, but I like my glasses. But anyway, Um,
They're from Zenni, Zenni.
and we're not paid, just so you know. We like
We just share that with people because when she had insurance for me at her work for eyeglasses, we went to America's Best and got an eye exam and got glasses. And after $300 of insurance, the glasses were still $500 because I'm old and blind and I needed trifocals. And I said, no. And we went to Zenni.com and I got the exact same glasses, same style lenses with the anti-reflective coating, anti-blue blocker. If it was anti, it was there. It had all the bells and whistles, sounded like a jingly bell, bing, jing, jing. I think was it $64 or $74, babies? Versus 580.
I think.
Well, we did get 20% off because of that time.
But anyway, it's still
But $64 versus $584.
not
Easy math.
okay. We're gonna go back to knitting though.
Back to knitting. Sorry, I was
In
just
case
looking
you-
at your glasses.
In case you wondered, this is hedgehog fibers, and the gray is naturally from Hill Country Weavers. They're naturally, and they're naturally with the yak. No dye in it. I did do some crocheting and some knitting for making dishcloths. The ends are not all woven in this one. I did weave the ends in on this, and I wove the ends in on this one. The yarn for these is from, well, there's two. These are from this Universal Yarns Cotton Supreme Waves, and that was from some yarn that was given to me by Dr. Joyce, who sent me a care package. And then this is from, I want to say this is Sugar and Cream. I'm pretty sure this is Sugar and Cream. From Spin Right. Just testing out the yarn and using it. But I really like having my own handmade dishcloths and washcloths, but dishcloths especially. And I don't know what happened, but I can only seem to find two of them. And I like having a few around, and I like having them in having washcloths in the bathroom too. So since I could only find two since we moved, I decided to make a few more. And in making this one, and this is from a pattern on yarnspirations.com. It is supposed to use a smaller hook and be a lot tighter, but I was testing it I wanted a drapey fabric, and I really like the fabric. And
not much of a washcloth, but it's
No.
big.
And so I kind of liked having the chevron or the wave, but this one is knit and this one is crochet, and for some reason the knitting isn't as comfortable on my hands right now as the crochet, so I decided to try and do a chevron, but the fabric doesn't drape. So when I can knit again without pain, which it seems like it might be coming available, but I'm going to do some sort of chevron on the bottom of a tee, and then for the top part I'm going to make it a tank. So it'll be a tank with a high waist with the bottom in a lacy chevron pattern. And I'm going to use Knit Picks Cotlin, Cotlin is the yarn, and I needed to get some purple yarn for a whip that we'll talk about in just a second. And because I needed that purple yarn and I was already ordering, and Knit Picks gives you free shipping if you go over
100.
No, I think it's 65. So, I don't know, 75, something. Anyway, I was not there, but not far from it. So I went ahead and added some skeins of the cotton, enough to make a t-shirt, because I'm not usually a fan of working with cotton, but using this Cotton Supreme Waves, it didn't hurt my hands, which is weird because my arms have been hurting knitting wool, which is just, what's up with that? But, so I just thought I would try and make something with a cotton linen blend and see if I like wearing it in the summer as well. Because I don't have one. I have never made one. Don't know if you don't try.
Nope.
So that's on order. That's on deck. Whips. It's gonna
And
be.
chains.
It's gonna be very short and sweet. I have 3 whips, and mostly they're all the same. I mean, most.
Back during the Indiana Jones craze, I always wanted to get me a whip, but those bad boys are expensive to get a good whip. You can buy a garbage whip for about $20, but to get a good leather whip, you're looking at about $100 for a decent quality whip. And for just having something to play with and take a chance of smacking your own ass with, I'm not going to spend $100 just to go, oh, ow, ow, ow. Kind of like clackers. Remember the clackers? Because, children of our generation, nobody gave a crap about our safety. 2 plastic balls on an army shoelace. Clack, clack, clack. And they would hit and hit and hit. And then they would shatter and spray shards of plastic in your face. What a toy!
Anyway. So I have the cuffs done on both socks. I have the heel done on one sock.
Did you redo the cuff? Not be able to get it over the ankle?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it was just the bind off. I just need to redo the bind off. So then I did do the heel. On this one, I still have to do the heel on the second one, but it has started. And then I'll be doing the toes on both of the socks, but that is whip number 1.
Uh-oh.
And my yarn for whip number 2 just went rolling down the road.
Ow.
So, whip number 2.
Uh-oh. Tangling you up. Get that.
Whip number 2, I am barely started with the, well, I'm halfway. Anyway. So, whip number 2 is about the Jethro cardigan. And for my size, I need 65, or not my size.
How many
for the
people
size I'm making.
when you hear Jethro, how many people think Jethro Bodine and cannot imagine Jethro from the Clampets in a cardigan? Just doesn't compute.
It doesn't matter. Anyway,
Anyway.
this pattern is from Tanis Lavallee. And so many people are making it. It's crazy how many people are making it. But I am not making this for me, but the person I'm making for, the size that I'm making, it needs 65 squares. And so I have half of the squares are complete in this pattern. And this one's not, none of it's woven. These are all woven, ends woven in and everything.
Which is amazing. Just saying, my baby wove in ends. She got sweaters that are years old that still haven't got any woven ends.
Yeah, well, anyway. So these are going to go, it's easier maybe this way, side by side, like this, but there will be a stitch in between joining them. I have, all of these are done, and I only have one completed of these, but how I'm doing them is all of these are done. The center square are all done. I now am adding this color, so the second color, And then once the second color is done on all of them, then I will do the last color on all of them. And this is annoying you. Anyway,
Why
so
is this annoying?
because it's flashing colors, which is for people watching. It's gotta be annoying to have that light shine and flash and stuff. So I'm sorry about that, y'all. I'll find my other glasses for next time. But so I still have to make the rest of these, and I'm also making a second Jethro cardigan, but I don't have the square in here that's done. On that one, I'm using fingering weight yarn and using the F hook, and it's gonna be 5 rounds instead of 4 rounds. This 4 rounds is because I'm using a bigger hook, but I like the fabric. If I went down a hook size, it would be way too dense and I would hate it. So, yeah, and then I don't have yarn to join them because the yarn I was going to use to join them is this yarn, and I'm using it for the second row. So I ordered from Knit Picks the yarn to join them, and I have to wait for it to get here. And then my last whip, I just started it this morning. I'm using this yarn, which is Kelbourne Woolens Scout. This will not be my last time using this yarn. It is my first time. I've never used it before. I've always wondered because the Modern Skein talks about it quite a bit, and I had never used it. I find it to be soft. Jim does not find it to be soft, but I find it to be soft.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not like your Holst.
No, it's not. It's a lot softer than the Holst. And I don't mind the Holst, but this is definitely softer. And my plan is I have somewhere a doodle deck, but I can't find it this morning. But I also have several doodle patterns in Ravelry, the digital versions. And I want to put my own color work in a cowl. And for the color work, I have this skein, which is Spin Cycle. And I have this, which is, it was right there anyway. Shopple Wool Zauberbaum.
That's a mouthful.
And this yarn came from Stuart from the Wool Patch, and this came from Hill Country Weavers, and I've had this in my stash.
Hi, Kaiwin.
This was my first purchase at their yarn shop, which is a long time ago now. This came from England. Anyway, so what I'm hoping to do, I'm probably, because of the colors of this yarn, I'm thinking I might do the ocean doodles, because it has like different fish and dolphins and stuff, and I think these colors might lend themselves well. And but I literally just cast it on this morning. I worked on it during my Sunday Zoom. So that's all of my whips that I'm actively working on. I do have my knit sweater for Jim, and it's not the pain in my shoulders, although it might cause pain in my shoulders. I honestly don't know, but it is super heavy, and it is not cool in this apartment. And having that 400 kilograms at the moment laying on top of me, just...
So her forecast of my sweater being done by June, that might be June next year.
Yeah, June next year. I need cooler
Which means
weather.
I won't get to wear it this year either. But that's okay.
Probably not.
I got my green sweater and I got my blue cardigan.
So the granny squares are really good for me right now because it's not too hot to do a granny square. You know, It's nothing in your lap. And then making the dishcloths has been nice because it's not too hot to make a dishcloth. And then if my hands can handle some more knitting, I will continue to work on this cowl and see how it comes out. I do have a shawl I could be working on that's also knit, and two of them. One with my hand spun yarn, but for some reason the one with my hand spun yarn, even though it's very easy to knit, my hands hurt when I'm doing it.
Yeah, but it's beautiful.
So I can't do very much of it because then my arm hurts. And it is not a pleasant experience to lay in the bed when my arm can't find a spot that doesn't hurt.
It's not, but luckily you have somebody with a big arm for you, so.
Yes, you do. So I think that's it.
Okay, we had 2 tornadoes in the last week. Something we did not have down in Austin. We lived there for 14 years and never actually had one hit us. Didn't really have any close to us, but we have sat in the dark a couple of times now. We were coming out of a restaurant and the sky went from, nice day, to pitch black. And dumpsters flying through the air. It was quite the event. We wound up hiding in an ice cream store. And while we were hiding, Valerie got a strawberry chocolate malt.
No, yeah, it was the shake was strawberry ice cream with chocolate in it, and to make it, and then they put an actual strawberry in it. But she said that to her it tastes like eating a chocolate covered strawberry, but it's an ice cream form.
But after our second sitting in the dark, I decided perhaps we should have some emergency lights, and we got a 4-pack of these from Amazon for $25. They are USB lights. You plug these in and charge them up, but you can also put AA batteries in the bottom. So if you didn't get them charged up or the charge wears off, they are bright. They are very bright. They light up a lot of space. And from what I read on them, they last for a very long time. So I will give you more on this after we've used it. Right now I'm charging them all up so that we will have them the next time, because we just had another tornado watch last night, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to get to see how they operate in the immediate future. But these were a really good buy, and they have a little magnetic bunch of dots there on the bottom. From what I read, I have not tried them, but you can stick them up on anything metal, so if you use them when you're camping, you can just stick them to the side of your car or your truck and have light. It's also got a flashlight and strobe lights. So Valerie said not to do that because it'll give somebody a seizure, so we're not doing that. But these are pretty good. So far, so good. If you live in Tornado Alley like we do, I'd recommend some. Now, what else you got?
Okay, so I made a purchase. Y'all know that I follow Gary Knits Gary Rides, and I do what I can to support his fundraising, because what he's supporting matters a lot to me. I've lost many friends to the AIDS epidemic, and a cure to end AIDS is really something that matters to me. But even just treatment, I have a cousin who was born HIV positive and addicted to drugs, and she's now a mama, and she still has the virus in her, and but she's able to live a normal life, and that's because of the treatments that are possible because of the fundraising efforts of organizations like the ones that he's supporting that are working so hard to find solutions. But that's it. That being said, he did a final push. I don't know. He planned this out. It's called Stitch Out Loud. He reached out to see if there were any dyers that would be interested in collaborating with him. And what he wanted was, he wanted yarns that would take you from the very first day of the ride in San Francisco, where they leave, and take you each day through to the finish line. And so different dyers took the inspiration photos from those days and made yarns.
Mm-hmm.
And there was 21, I think, different colorways that you could get. And this colorway is from Nancy at Trilogy Yarns, and it's coming out brighter. Is that better? Look in there, because see here, I think it's too bright.
Yeah, that's too
I
bad.
think this is more accurate.
There you go.
Anyway, I love that color.
When you see it up against the gray wall, it's kind of
More accurate.
more accurate.
But it's beautiful to me. It is. It's kind of a red. It's kind of an orange. It's kind of a brown. It's kind of all of the things all at once. And I know I want a t-shirt in this, or tank top in this color. This just makes me happy. So I got 2 skeins.
Well, I'm happy when you're happy. So. What you got there?
And then these are, this is a sock blank that you knit from, and it's a fade. And so what I intend to do, because I have 2 of them, is I am going to knit them and make them into front and back panels for a t-shirt. So I got 2 of them. I can't read, so you're gonna have to read who the dyer is for this one.
This is Three Fates Yarn Terra Sock.
So I got 2 of those to make a t-shirt as well.
Hand dyed in Salem, Oregon.
And then I only got 1 of these, but that's because I was trying not to spend too much money. But this is, I think it's called Cinnamon Roll. Make sure.
Old West Cinnamon Rolls Stitch Out Loud collection.
And the color isn't that it made me think of cinnamon rolls, which it does. I just think that's the most beautiful variegated brown. And so I have no idea what this will be, other than this makes me happy. But I think I'm in a brown phase.
I don't know.
I've been making lots of things with brown.
And you complained about Wyoming being brown. I guess we should move back to Wyoming if you're in a brown phase.
So I don't know what's up with that, but apparently I've been wanting brown. And then it's not here yet. It's lost in transit. Not really, but I don't know where it is. We'll find out if it and when it ever shows. I will show it to y'all. But he did a raffle and sold raffle tickets.
Up in there.
I don't know. Anyway, he sold.
They joined 2 skeins together there?
It could be. It came from a cone. Anyway, so he did this raffle, and the raffle was to win 1 of every skein in the collection. And so I bought raffle tickets. And I won.
Plural tickets.
Yes, I know I bought raffle tickets, but so I bought raffle tickets and hoping to win, and I won. And I don't know exactly how, but I'm going to try and make minis. I was going to make minis from all of the yarns, but there are several of the yarns that are self-striping yarns, and I wouldn't.
Did you look at your little stitch marker? You got
Oh yeah,
tart
it
cherries?
came with a cherry stitch marker too.
You like tart cherries?
I do. But I don't like cherries on my cinnamon roll.
Well, I'm not sure anybody does, Bubbies. It's not a marketed thing at all. Has anybody ever bought a cherry
I don't know, but
infused cinnamon roll?
people put cherries on top of ice cream. People put cherries on top of drinks. Like, and them are maraschino cherries, and that's nasty. But anyway,
Just your personal opinion, baby. Don't be slighting anybody else's favorite cherry.
if it's your thing, you are welcome to have all mine, which he has been doing since we met. So get that out of my stuff.
I love you.
But I think I'm gonna take the I'm gonna keep the self-striping. But I'm gonna break all the rest of the yarns into minis and try and share it with some of my friends, some of my closest friends. So we'll see. I just think it would be fun if we all had minis for Advent. So we'll see.
Let's see.
But that's my plan. That's what I'm hoping to do. And I can't think of anything. I feel like I'm missing something, forgetting to say something. Oh, I know what it was. It's not easy to get certain things. How hard was it for us to find a crochet hook that's ergonomic or?
Well,
And then-
stocked locally, not
That's right.
possible.
Yeah, and then me trying to find purple yarn for the
Who made that garbage we looked at Walmart?
boy.
No, wasn't Boyd. It was the other one. We went looking especially for that because
Oh yeah, I don't remember what that brand was. I don't remember, but it was.
they had it was like a 12-pack, 8-pack, something like that. It was $25. But when you looked at the finish on the metal,
It was rough.
it was like somebody had took a piece of sandpaper and buffed and got it all gritty and shitty and then dipped it and made it shiny, gritty, and shitty so that
Yeah,
it would
that's weird.
snag your yarn. You could file your nails with these crochet hooks. They were
That's
terrible.
weird.
And I'm looking at this going, who, with
Yeah, I
any
don't know.
morals at all, would charge to sell this needle? Because it's garbage.
Yeah, it
It'll
was.
tear up your yarn.
It was.
And I don't even crochet.
And then I needed some stitch markers because I couldn't find my stitch markers anywhere. Still can't find my little bag of notions anywhere. But anyway, it was very, very frustrating because I couldn't find anything local. And when I was trying to find purple yarn, I could not
That is
Fine.
hilarious.
purple yarn.
I just got a notification from Walmart. Make it yours. The very garbage I was just talking about. And Walmart says, I can make it yours. 12-piece boy ergonomic aluminum crochet crap. Oh,
Told you it was boy. Told you it was boy.
I did not realize I was wrong. It was boy. Boy is bad.
I know I've never liked them, but that's beside the point. And if you're a boy fan, by all means,
Try something better.
enjoy your boys. That brand and me have never been friendly.
$25.87, and you can have this lovely set of crap.
Anyway, I want to give a huge shout out to Wool & Co. Oh, we didn't talk about Wool & Co.
Well,
That
we gotta
came
talk
in the
about
mail
your
too.
uncle.
All the yarn that came in.
Well, while
We're
she's
gonna
looking for
pause.
yarn,
No,
I'm gonna tell you.
You guys
See
talk.
this? These are funky looking socks. Okay, I'll give you. They're funky looking socks, but these are socks for people with neuropathy, and standard neuropathy socks are based on shoe sizes. These are wide calf. And this was a 5-pack for $25. These are 3XLs. The foot is still a regular size foot. It's just got a big enough calf to still give you support and improve your circulation without hurting. So The only thing I don't like about these is they leave indentations where they are stitched together, but they actually do a pretty good job of reducing neuropathy pain, so I can deal with the indentations and stitch together. Just one of those things. You got to take the good with the bad, and those are available from Amazon too. Not that I like Amazon, but it's there. You know, take what you got. As long as she's still searching
No,
for
I'm
stuff.
good.
Oh, you're good?
Yep.
Oh, you gonna wear your distance glasses?
Yeah, so I can actually see something. Hopefully it doesn't glare. If it glares, I'm really sorry.
It's gonna glare. Mine are glaring.
Yeah, but the other ones were like flashy glaring, not just glare.
That's because the others are. She's got her first set of transition lenses that auto change into sunglasses.
Yeah.
And I've had them, and I'm not a fan because they never unchange completely. They always have just a little grayness to them. And we'll be sitting there, and I'll look over at her, and the light coming in from the windows hits the shading on her glasses, and she's got these little red bars going across her eyes. And I'm like, that's different.
So, anyway, I was trying really hard to find purple yarn, and because I needed a lavender-like yarn, and so, for the center of my squares, because the yarn that I had, I used 68 grams to make the 30 squares, and I needed 30 more squares. And there's no way when you start with 100 grams, if you've used 68, you do not have enough to finish your other squares, so I need a new skein. So I did find this color eventually. 3 hours later, I found it at Wool & Co. But I also wasn't sure, like, you don't know because you haven't worked with the yarn, you don't know if it's going to work. So I did try another yarn, and the other yarn did not work. Jim can tell you, I don't have it handy, but it absolutely did not match with anything else, and it looked horrible in the squares, so that yarn got set aside, and I don't know where it went. That's also where I got the Cowboy Roland Scout, and I got this, which is West Yorkshire's Spinner's Croft DK, which if you're in the UK, I'm pretty sure that you can get this from Stuart at the Wool Patch as well. And then I got Shetland and Highland, and these are from Harrisville Designs, and I told Jim I found them at New York Sheep and Wool, and they do come in cones, which are not super expensive, but these were not expensive either, and so I decided to get them to try them.
And they shipped. Wow.
And yeah, and they wind them for free, so that you don't have to wind them when you get them, which appealed to me greatly. I will say, I think this feels very much like Holst.
Yeah.
And it's the same weight as Holst. So if you have some Holst Super Soft and you want to pair it and you don't, you can always get this. Or if you have this but you can't find the color you want, I will say Holst has way more colors available than Harrisville Designs. But I'm interested to work this up with the Holst to see how they play together. So that will probably happen. And then that's it, besides the one. But they shipped for free. They also
Well, there was a minimum order.
I think there was a minimum. I don't remember for sure, but I do know it was a minimum to get a discount. I think the shipping was free for all U.S. orders, but I was so close to getting a 10% discount that I went ahead and ordered to get the 10% discount. Why? A free yarn.
Gotta spend money to save money.
Anyway. So, and apparently they have you have to buy into it, but you know how you have with the Walmart where you can,
The Walmart Plus.
yeah. So they have a similar thing where you buy into it, but you get a discount on all your orders, and then certain products get even better discount throughout the year. And I don't know if they're still doing it, but I know that they were because I used to have in my Zoom a gal that was her local yarn shop. But anyway, so that's been the yarny stuff. Now we need to talk about books and movies. Let's first.
Books I've been still reading Brenda Trim. Brenda Trim's losing her shine real hard because she forgets what she wrote. And she takes somebody that's in one family and moves them to a whole different family and then writes a whole string of books about them and their new family. But they weren't adopted or anything. It's just she just suddenly decided that this guy is no longer a member of this family and he's a member of that family, and she changes people's names and powers, and it's just like she forgot what she wrote and she started writing new shit. So I'm losing my fandom. She still has interesting stories, and I will warn you, as soon as you get into any of the sexy, move to the next chapter, because the whole rest of that chapter is going to be nothing but sexy. Unless you want to read about it. Knock yourselves out. I don't. But I'm still reading Brenda Trim. She just introduced a 4th spin-off series that's wrapped up into the other 3 that I've been reading. So that is interesting. I am still struggling to finish the books that she wants me to finish so she can talk to me about it. The Reacher series, for all of the books up until the last 2, have been written strictly by Lee Childs. And Lee has been transitioning Reacher over to his brother Andrew, because if it was left up to Lee, he'd just kill Reacher because he's tired of writing about Reacher. But Reacher is a cash cow, so his brother said, I'll write him. And Lee's like, okay. They're not the same guys. They're brothers. They don't think the same. They don't plot the same. And I am struggling with it, but I am working on it because she wants to talk about it, and she can't talk about it until I've finished it. I am 64% of the way through.
I love it so much. It was the first 3 or 4 chapters were really confusing to me. Like, I didn't understand. Like, I thought this was a Reacher book. Where the hell's Reacher? I don't understand. And then when they brought Reacher in on the first chapter he was in, it didn't have anything to do with the other stuff, and now it's really confused. But I just kept reading. But then it was like, oh, okay. And then it got really interesting, and then I couldn't put it down until I finished it. So.
And then we watched the. I think it's the latest, at least it's the latest we could find, the latest installment of Doctor Who.
Yes, it was the latest.
And I'm going to tell you, I was not a fan. I did not like that episode.
Absolutely worst episode of Doctor Who ever, as far as I'm concerned. I mean,
but part of it felt too much like what's happening in America right now. I think part of it just really solidly reflected the nastiness that's going on in America, and I was watching Doctor Who for entertainment and to escape the nastiness. I did not need to have the nastiness revamped and still mad. Here, check this out. This is a thoroughly disgusting individual ready to destroy the world, and that's what the episode was about. So.
I just didn't.
There was a lot of negativity, a lot of darkness. Not my thing.
It was not my favorite. But wait, before we go into that one, I did read Reacher. I finished it, and I am in the middle of reading Wicked. So I am reading, and I actually really like Wicked. It is. Stuart gonna get mad. I like it better than Wizard of Oz.
Stu would be all right with it, but
Anyway, but I'm enjoying it. I've never seen the play, and I've never read the book, so this has been nice. Anyway, and then
we've been binge watching from season 1 until we are about halfway through season 7 of Young Sheldon. So we are on the downhill slide, watching the end of Young Sheldon. Apparently, there's going to be a spin-off series about his brother Georgie and his first wife, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. I don't know if that means Georgie and Mandy get remarried to each other somewhere down in Georgie's life, but this is their first marriage. And currently they are just engaged. And Young Sheldon. So I am thinking that probably somewhere between today and the season finale is going to be the wedding.
Could be, I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
anything.
that
I'm
might
trying to
be-
really just not pay attention and just watch the shows.
That might be the season finale to kick off the intro into Georgie and Mandy's first wedding, first marriage, whatever. But
Anyway, there are parts of that show that I love so much, and there are parts of that show that I think for both of us bring up some inner wounds, I guess. Really can't stand the preacher. I just cannot stand, from day one, could not stand the preacher. Have a hard time with Sheldon's mom most of the time. And really feel sad for
George.
for George
Misty.
and Missy.
Yeah.
George and Missy. But anyway, but I'm enjoying it. It's entertaining. And I want to see what happens before CBS moves it to a buy the set instead of being able to stream it. And so
So we'll finish that
we'll
today.
finish it. And then,
Oh, we should talk about the nastiness. My sister, God bless her, drinks Coke Zero. That's all she drinks, Coke Zero. And I love my sister very much. But I will let her have all the Coke Zero that is left on the planet. Because Coke Zero has zero goodness. None.
yeah,
We
just
both
water.
we bought it because she wanted to try it, and she's like, "Wow, it's nasty. I don't like this." I'm like, "Oh, I'll try it. I'll drink it." And I drank some of it, and I was like, "Yeah, this is not good." You know what? If you take some chocolate milk, which is good all by itself, and you mix half chocolate milk and half Coke Zero, you have some half nasty chocolate milk. But it's not nearly as nasty as all nasty Coke Zero by itself. So
It's better to just drink your chocolate milk and pour the Coke Zero down the drain. That Coke Zero is less than $1 worth of Coke in that refrigerator. It can go down the drain.
I'm
Just saying.
just saying I'm there with you. I'm done.
It's
I'm Coke
nasty.
Zeroed out. Sorry, sister. You can have all my share of Coke Zero that is left on the planet. If any has been allocated to me, I hereby bequeath it to my sister, and she can have it. I'm done.
Now I need to, because I had come off of soda and off of all sugar, and I know that I need to come off of it. And this isn't about how I look, because I really don't care how I look, but it is about my health, and my health is I'm having health issues because of my weight, and I know it, and I need to do something about it. And this is not a commitment that I'm going to do something. I'm just acknowledging that I really need to do something about it. And we'll see whether she follows through with it or not. But
Who?
me,
Whether she, speaking of yourself in the third person now.
pretty much. at the moment.
I love you.
I love you too. That's all I had. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Oh, podcast recommendations. I need to shout out. Well, besides, there's the important ones. He knows. Leslie,
Yeah.
Michael, Barbara, Nito Setaretti, Aquila from the Lefty Knitter podcast. But I'm also really been enjoying Happy Little Yarn of late.
Who's the one you were watching last night? You said she was the Polish or Halo originator?
Oh, Calon Yarns. I love Calon Yarns. She
was broaching into some deep stuff last night.
She is my first
seems like a very nice
podcast
person.
ever that I ever watched. And she is I think, a theater professor in university in Wales. I know she's a university professor in Wales.
And one of our favorite people is Tammy.
Cinematic Skeins.
Cinematic Skeins. Check her out. She's a wonderful person. I like her.
And
we were talking about trying to make a little road trip and meet her in Waco, but we never heard back from her, so did not.
But she's feeling better, so that's good.
Good.
So anyway, I don't know where. Happy Little Yarn. If you get a chance, check her out. And there was somebody I watched. Oh, there's two sisters. I'm gonna put the link down below because I cannot remember the name. But it's these two sisters, and I think they're from Jersey or somewhere near Jersey. And one of them knits more, and one of them crochets. I don't know if the one that knits also crochets, but I know it's a knit and crochet, and they talk about their makes. But I love that they really get into the nitty gritty of what they're doing, and because they both design, like they don't use necessarily someone else's pattern, they may write their own designs, create their own designs. They talk about the swatching, and they talk about I thought this was going to work and I had to pull it back because it didn't work. And more recently, they've been trying things they haven't tried before. Mm-hmm. And the lady who was crocheting got some crochet thread. You know, the tiny crochet thread you can get at Walmart for making lace stuff. And is working with it and finding she's loving it. Which is why I went ahead and tried doing what I was doing with the crochet, because technically the number 3 crochet thread is the same weight as fingering weight yarn. Mm. It's just a different spin, you know what I mean? Different twist in it. Mm. And I'm not suggesting that I'm going to make a sweater out of crochet thread. I'm just saying that I hadn't thought about it that way. So it was interesting.
So,
yep, we're done.
We're done. It's an hour. Okay. The Moron brothers are riding a bike. And Big Moron and Little Moron. And they hit a dip. And Big Moron falls off. Why doesn't his brother? Because he's a little moron. See ya.
I love you.